Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey Betzelberger. Welcome. Hi everyone, so excited to welcome you to our tour today. For those of you who don't know me very well, my name is Kelsey and I am originally from Chicago. And my husband and I moved to Valencia, Spain last February. We're loving it, it's beautiful. And I have been taking quite a few trips lately, so this is one of the beautiful places that I am so excited to bring you to. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to the Pobla de Vallbona. It has a rich history and it dates back to Roman times. This tiny town is just 11 miles or 18 kilometers northwest of where I live, Valencia in Spain. The proximity to Valencia makes it a convenient residential area for people who work or commute into the city. I took a day trip here. It only took about 45-50 minutes to get here on the metro. The price of the metro is only 40 cents, so it was well worth the visit for sure. The name Vallbona is derived from the Latin vallis bona, which means good valley. This reflects the town's geographical location in a fertile valley. We'll talk about this soon. The town also has medieval roots, a medieval core, narrow streets, historical buildings, a charming atmosphere, beautiful churches. These all reflect the town's long history and fun culture. The Pobla de Vallbona celebrates various traditional festivals throughout the year. One of the most significant festivals is the San Antonio Abad, which typically involves parades, dancing, music, a lot of fun. The San Antonio Abad Festival is known as the Feast of St. Anthony the Abbot. This is a traditional festival celebrated in many parts of Spain, including Pobla de Vallbona. The festival typically takes place on January 17th every year. It coincides with the feast of St. Anthony the Abbot, who is the patron saint of animals and traditionally associated with the protection of livestock. One of the central traditions of the San Antonio Abad Festival is the blessing of animals. People bring their pets and farm animals, such as horses, cows, even household pets like dogs and cats, to be blessed by the local priest. This blessing is believed to protect the animals from harm and illnesses. Festive parades and processions often occur during the celebration. Participants, sometimes dressed in traditional clothing, accompany the statue or image of St. Anthony the Abbot throughout the streets. There may be music, dancing, other kinds of entertainment, and like many Spanish festivals, traditional foods like paella are an integral part of celebration. We'll talk about this more soon as well. You'll find regional dishes and treats being served at local markets and food stalls. In some regions, bonfires are lit to celebrate. People gather around and it's time for socializing and enjoying the warmth of the fire during the winter months. Depending on the region and the local traditions, the San Antonio Abad Festival may also have various other cultural activities, including folk dances, exhibitions, and more. This festival is a combination of religious and cultural elements, and it is an opportunity for the communities to come together, celebrate their heritage, and pay homage to St. Anthony the Abbot. Historically, this region was known for its agriculture, particularly the cultivation of oranges. Agriculture remains an important part of the local economy. The history of oranges in Spain is quite fascinating, though, so let me tell you a little bit about it. Oranges, particularly the sweet orange, the citrus times sinensis, have a long and complex history in the Iberian Peninsula. Oranges were introduced to Spain by the Moors during their occupation of the Iberian Peninsula from the 8th to the 15th centuries. The Moors brought citrus fruits, including oranges, of course, but also lemons with them from the Middle East. Oranges found a suitable climate in the southern regions of Spain, such as Andalusia, where they thrived. The warm Mediterranean climate was ideal for growing citrus fruits, and the orange orchards, orange groves, became common. As Christian forces gradually retook control of the Iberian Peninsula from the Moors during the Reconquista, they inherited and expanded upon the Moorish agricultural practices, including orange cultivation. Oranges from Spain, particularly the Sevilla oranges, became highly sought after and were exported to other parts of Europe. Sevilla oranges, known for their bitter taste, were used primarily for making marmalade. Oranges became a symbol of the region's cultural identity, though. The orange blossom, in particular, became associated with Andalusia and is used in various cultural and religious events, including weddings and festivals. In the 19th and 20th centuries, the citrus industry in Spain expanded significantly. Improved transportation and agricultural techniques allowed for larger-scale cultivation and the export of oranges. Valencia, in particular, became known for its sweet oranges. Spain is now one of the world's leading exporters of oranges and citrus fruits. The cultivation and consumption of oranges, though, have become deeply ingrained in Spanish culture, and they remain a significant agricultural product and cultural symbol in Spain. The sweet, juicy oranges of Spain continue to be enjoyed both domestically and internationally. Let's head over to our next site, the Church of St. Jaume Apostol, or the Church of St. James the Apostle. The Church of St. James the Apostle was the first church to be built in Pobla de Vallbona. The exact date of construction is not known, but it is believed to have been built a few years after the birth of the town, which was between 1229 and 1239. Three major stages can be distinguished in the history of this church. The first, which was a small building in a Gothic style, and decorated with paintings dating from the 15th century. The second stage, from the 17th century, had several chapels added in a Baroque style, the dominant style of the time. In the third stage, which is the one that reaches the sky to this day, the church has been expanded thanks to the acquisition of new land where new chapels, a cross, and a neoclassical Corinthian-style dome are built. There's also a bell tower with a hexagonal base. About the first church that was built, there's no data on the dimensions or the appearance that it could have had. But it is known that it was not until the 17th century when the chapels were built, so it can be thought that the old church occupied what is now the central nave, about 23 meters long and 10 meters wide, or 70 feet long and 30 feet wide. Recently, the Pobla de Vallbona City Council had decided to restore the cistern and recover the Civil War shelter for around 400,000 euros. The construction of this site dates back to the 16th century, and it is located right in the city center. It is the most important publicly owned heritage asset of the city, and its recovery began after the first archaeological excavations in 2018. This project will allow the cistern to be used as a tourist and cultural center, a museum, and possibly an exhibition site. The Cisterna de la Pobla is the largest and most important in the region. It has an access staircase and an original tank. There are documents from the 17th century that already refer to the cistern that was filled with water from the first ditch. It was renovated in the 19th century and used as a part of an air raid shelter during the Civil War. Now, let me give you a little bit of background and history about the Moorish conquest here. Also known as the Islamic conquest of the Iberian Peninsula, the Moorish conquest was a significant historical event that spanned several centuries. It began in the 8th century when Muslim forces, led by Umayyad Caliphate, crossed the Strait of Gibraltar from North Africa and invaded the Iberian Peninsula. The conquest marked the beginning of the Islamic rule in parts of modern-day Spain and Portugal. The Moors, who were of Berber and Arab descent, introduced a rich culture and intellectual heritage to the region. The Moorish conquest had profound and lasting effects on the Iberian Peninsula. It resulted in a period of culture and intellectual flourishing known as Al-Andalus, which is where we get the name Andalusia, by the way, where Muslims, the Jewish population, and Christians coexisted and contributed to a vibrant, peaceful society. This era saw advancements in science, medicine, philosophy, and architecture, with notable figures like Averroes and Maimonides emerging as influential scholars. The architectural legacy of the Moors is still visible today in landmarks such as the Alhambra of Granada and the Mezquita in Córdoba. The Moorish conquest gradually expanded across the Iberian Peninsula, with the Umayyad Caliphate establishing the Emirate of Al-Andalus in the 8th century. Over time, Al-Andalus fragmented into various smaller Muslim-ruled territories, known as taifas, due to internal conflicts. This fragmentation eventually allowed Christian kingdoms in the north to launch the Reconquista, a centuries-long effort to retake the Iberian Peninsula. Now, I found some interesting facts for us about this time. During the height of Al-Andalus, this region was known for its religious tolerance and coexistence. Muslims, the Jewish population, and Christians often lived side by side, and scholars from various backgrounds collaborated on intellectual pursuits. This period is often cited as an example of interfaith coexistence in history. The Moors also left an indelible mark on Iberian architecture. We can see this all over Spain, but especially in the south, places like Alhambra, a great palace and fortress complex in Granada, is celebrated for its stunning Islamic design and intricate tile work. The Mezquita in Córdoba also is a former mosque with a unique blend of Islamic and Christian architecture. The Al-Andalus was a center of scientific innovation during the Middle Ages also. Scholars in the region made significant contributions to fields such as astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. Their works were later translated into Latin and influenced European Renaissance thinkers. The Christian Reconquista gradually reclaimed territory from the Moors, leading to the eventual fall of the Nasrid dynasty in Granada in 1492. This marked the end of Muslim rule in Spain with the surrender of Boabdil, the last Nasrid ruler. The legacy of the Moorish conquest lives on in modern Spain, though, particularly in its culture, cuisine, and architecture. Moorish influences can be seen in traditional Spanish dishes such as paella and in the intricate tile work and arches of many historic buildings. The Moorish conquest of the Iberian Peninsula was a complex and transformative period in history, characterized by cultural exchange, intellectual growth, and architectural splendor. The legacy of Al-Andalus continues to shape Spain's cultural identity and heritage to this day. Some details for you on the Moorish influence on architecture. It is characterized by its distinctive features and intricate details. So first, the Moorish architecture is renowned for its intricate geometric patterns. We see this all over Spain. These patterns often feature interlocking designs, including stars, hexagons. These motifs can be found on tiles, plasterwork, and even in the layout of gardens and courtyards. The arches are particularly beautiful. Moorish arches are a prominent feature in their architectural designs. This horseshoe arch, known as the, quote, Moorish arch, is a classic example. These arches have a distinct shape resembling an inverted horseshoe, and they can be seen in doorways and windows, interior spaces, all over. Moorish architecture often incorporated the courtyards and the gardens as part of the integral elements of the design of the space also. These areas are typically adorned with fountains, reflecting pools, and lush vegetation. The Alhambra in Granada, for example, is a famous area that exemplifies this concept, with stunning general life gardens that should not be missed. The stucco and plasterwork are also very interesting. Elaborate stucco and plasterwork are hallmarks of Moorish architecture. The intricate lace-like patterns are meticulously carved into plaster surfaces, creating a stunning visual effect. These can be observed on walls, ceilings, and even on domes. The influence of Moorish design elements continues to captivate architects and designers worldwide, contributing to the rich tapestry of architectural history. This is the Parroquia de la Santísima Trinidad y San Josep. This church was built in 1947, but it had been built over a previous church from the 19th century. The current building that we see today was built in the neoclassical style. In order to reduce expenses while they were building the church, people from the population took part in this grand adventure. Workers that were adults, children, women, men, everyone took part. This was a church by the people and for the people. It follows this neoclassical style with a central nave, a barrel vault, and lunettes, semicircular arched chapel of communion, and 2 bell towers, designed to form a completely symmetrical composition. With lack of budget, though, only 1 bell tower was built. Religious events that are celebrated here are specifically in October, the days of the Holy Trinity, the days of the Virgin, and the days of the Rosary. While we explore, let me tell you a little bit more about one of Spain's favorite foods, paella. Paella is a traditional Spanish rice dish that originated in the Valencian region on the eastern coast of Spain. Its roots can be traced back to the 18th century. The name paella comes from the Valencian word of the same spelling, which means pan. The dish is traditionally cooked in a wide, shallow pan, known as the paellera. Paella is not just a dish, however. It's a symbol of Spanish cuisine and culture. It reflects the use of local ingredients and culinary traditions. Paella is often prepared for special occasions and family gatherings, bringing people together over a delicious and communal meal. There are many regional variations of paella in Spain, with ingredients ranging from seafood, or paella de mariscos, to chicken and rabbit, paella valenciana, or even vegetables, paella de verduras. Paella has gained popularity worldwide and is a staple of Spanish restaurants in many countries. It's also commonly prepared at home by people around the globe. Some interesting facts for you about this delicious meal. A prized element of traditional paella is the socarrat. This is the crispy, caramelized layer of rice that forms at the bottom of the pan. Are you hungry yet? It is considered a delicacy. Saffron, a spice derived from crocus flowers, is a key ingredient in paella. It gives the dish its distinctive yellow color and unique flavor and smell. Authentic paella is often prepared outdoors, over an open flame, which is said to contribute to its rich flavor. In Spain and in other countries, paella competitions are held, where chefs and home cooks compete to create the best paella. These events celebrate the dish's versatility and creativity. As for the paella pans, these traditional paella cooking utensils come in various sizes, with the largest ones designed to feed a large group of people. We're talking upwards of 20. They are made of materials like carbon steel and stainless steel. In 2020, traditional rice cultivation and the art of paella were added to the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization's, aka UNESCO, Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity list. This recognition highlights the cultural significance of paella. Thank you for traveling with me today to La Pobla de Vallbona. I hope you enjoyed our day trip to this tiny town right outside the Valencian city center. We explored the history of the Moors, paella, delicious oranges. Well, I am off to go find myself some fresh orange juice. Thank you for traveling with me today. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for your donations, for your tips, for your PayPals. And as always, thank you for being a part of my traveling family. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye, everyone. Don't forget to follow and like this video for more with me, Explore with Kelsey. For more of my tours, please see my profile on Buy Me a Coffee. And under the shop, you will see all of my future live tours, recaps, live concerts, and recorded versions of all past events as well available for purchase. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Explore with Kelsey. Thank you all for joining me. See you soon!